Hello guys, it is that Panda guy. I'm here again with another video, and today we're going to be looking at the Island Raid brackets as a resolution, aka you know how it all went and the ending of I guess the brackets. So we're going to hop right into this. And, I'm going to start this video off by actually thanking Nam, because I don't think this event would have been as good as it was for me or my freaking alliance as it was without Nam, his planning, his leadership. Overall, this dude, I really respect him because I've been in leadership spots, obviously, and I know how stressful and how much work it takes, right? So overall, I think Nam's freaking crazy. I've learned a lot from him, and like we went into this event, and I mean, I still didn't think we'd win, right? Like honestly, I still I had kind of hopes, but then I was also like, it's very unlikely just because a lot of factors. And Nam, I respect the guy. I'd be willing to send all my troops to Valhalla, just for that dude because he's freaking awesome. And you know what? We fought hard. It was a great event, and you see it in the kill points. I think a lot of you guys probably saw G1. Freaking went crazy. We had like 6 dudes up in this freaking area. Look at this. 6 dudes over 1 billion points. 2 guys over 2 billion points. Absolute lunatics. And yeah, we're going to hop right into this bracket review though. And yeah, I do appreciate you guys for watching as always. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And let's get into it. So G1, we came in and it was actually a 3v1 to start off. It was ANCS, BTW, and RPG, and then Fox was neutral, but they decided that they were going to join ANCS. I mean, some people are like ticked off about that, but honestly, I mean, it is what it is, right? Like I wouldn't get all mad because they wanted to change to being like ANCS's ally here. I mean, it is what it is. It's a part of the game, and I mean, it was still a good fight at the end of the day. And it ended up becoming like a 4v1 like 2 or 3 days in, and we did manage to hold for quite a while. We did manage to make counterattacks, and I think that was also due to the fact that like I feel like our enemies weren't putting as much pressure as they could have been, like throughout the whole event. They could have been pressuring us really hard, but I think they were trying to maybe play back, save their energy, but we were just trying to get, kind of cut them down as much as possible. I will say, like I said, I don't think we had any chance of winning this. We entered this island with like 14 billion might, didn't even do mergers, and, even if we're able to trade gold on every tower, every siege, every defense, there's just no way, right? We're at like a massive troop disposition against like 45 billion combined might. And these alliances obviously aren't small. They have a lot of I would say at least dolphins, right? That could just make it really hard for us. And, the trades on towers were a bit rough. I will say I still think that we did pretty good. I enjoyed this island. It was a blast, and our alliance did. I feel like we did amazing. So I'm not really upset with this. I think it was a great island, and this alliance is awesome. All right, so we're gonna look at G2 now. Oh yeah, let me say one more thing, guys. I think the tower limit was the worst part. You know what we had to keep doing? We were in G1 and we would have to like let's say we had towers all up mid, we had tower maybe holding here, we had a tower blocking off like points, like very key points, right? And we had to keep destroying towers on like RPG's front to maybe push over here, and then like destroy these towers that we did to push over here to actually keep pushing up mid, or maybe back tower or something like that, right? That 50 tower limit was so annoying because you're in a position where you're 4v1ing, you have to really build in a really strategical way. And when you have a 50 tower limit and you already take a portion of them to actually reach points, it's just so hard. And we used, from what Nam told me, 2 million material from like rebuilding demolished towers on different areas, which is just insane, and it was really hard for us. It was freaking struggle. G2, I think this was kind of predictable. HMB won this one. They, I guess, allied with Hot and Fine, and I guess the rest was mostly free for all. I don't really think I have a lot to say about this bracket. I don't really know, because it was just a weird bracket to me, right? Like I don't think it was really that interesting, and that's usually the case. Like a lot of these alliances can't really do much. And I mean, can't really blame them. Like, unless you're mega whales, it's like, what can you do against other mega whales? That's basically how it goes. Alright, so G3 was a bit more interesting to me. And this was mostly for the first and second day. I think it kind of just cooled down after that. So I wanted to talk a bit about this for a bit. So DHX overall is a really strong group. Being from Region 96 and at 10 billion might already is kind of insane. And I will actually say real quick, something I'd said earlier about like the whole hero thing with Peterson was somewhat wrong, since there are some migrators in here who do have Peterson. So I was slightly wrong there, just so you guys know. That being said, I wanted to talk about a few things. I understand that it was like a 7v1 for a little while against DHX, and the thing is, it's so hard for these alliances to really do anything, right? Because even if you consider like their combined alliance might, even if you say these guys, let's say it's a bunch of 50 million players and equals 30 billion might, right? It's not really going to matter much if you don't have the whales to actually combat, right? Like, you're going to be trading really bad here, and it's just painful. So I mean, you look at like PXL, right? And obviously, Joker here looks like a pretty beastly dude. He has some really good gear overall. But you have to put him, let's say you put him against like DHX's top guy, right? Even if he has Peterson, even if he has the best gear, like, well, not the best gear, right? But he has like really good gear. And then you have DHX's leader with all this maxed out stuff. They're going to be trading really well on these towers. You also got to consider their overall player base. They have just a lot of whales who are whales early, right? Like they're out of the womb, they're out of the womb and already whales, right? That's basically how it works. So they're able to put up a lot more fighting than the average person, and you kind of like, even if you add like, let's say all the big guys and all the alliances combined, they can't really fight against these DHX guys alone. And then the most you can do is really just have a one-on-one tower fight at best, right? And you try to just maybe take the best of trades possible, have all your alliances kind of burning out all their troops. Overall, it's just a really bad spot to be in. And I mean, I feel for these other alliances actually fighting DHX, because just like, it's hard to fight mega whales like this. And even the fact that they tried to stand up, kind of impressive. But at the end of the day, I mean, what could they do? Like, these guys are just really powerful. And I mean, it is how it is. Like, literally nothing you can really do in that situation. Okay, G4. I saw a bit of G4. I saw MGM, especially in the start. I didn't really watch anything else, but I did see MGM actually pushing Doom here, and I saw them get ganged on by SNS and Doom and push them back to helipad. From the looks of it, Spec, hot, too hot or whatever. And I guess MGM kind of had an alliance, maybe Thor as well, and I guess maybe they just dominated this bracket. The thing is, Spec and Too Hot are already like monsters in this bracket, like compared to the rest. So them alone could honestly be a really big rival for this bracket. That would have been an interesting fight. But just these alliances got suppressed in this case. So I mean, it was kind of it was a quick shot there. I don't know how they determined who got runes. Maybe it was like who got the most kill points. That's usually how I like to determine it with at least when I was in Prime, That's how I like to do things. I mean, it's probably a bit more different once you hit like much bigger leagues, alliance-wise, right? Like, let's say you're in Boone, right? Like, if you really want an ally, and maybe you give up ruins, right? Or you maybe give it up to your family because you owe it to them. Because I think they've done that in the past. They owed them, but you guys get the point, right? Like, overall, I think you just gotta have those fair agreements. Okay, I'm just sounding stupid. G5. Kind of nuts here. Okay, so you have DG21. It looks like they dominated. From what I heard, Lost and them actually allied, which was surprising. But I mean, I don't know. It looks like it was a four-way alliance, kind of like, or TPF maybe just kept their village out of kindness. I don't really know how this all went. Looks like Fox got pressured. Soap got pressured. That's rough. SOS just kept their village. Maybe they just confined themselves to the corner of the map and begged for their livelihood. I don't know, man. This bracket looks kind of rough. Like, that's the thing. When you got like two alliances like these and they ally together plus other alliances, it's like that bracket's already decided, Like, I think like Lost and DG21 alone could have been enough to really cause harm for the bracket. Maybe if they picked up like a smaller alliance, maybe SOS, right? For example, just an example. If all three of them went in this bracket, that could have been intense. But it's kind of like set in stone how the result's going to turn out at that point. K and Q's, I'm actually surprised that they let HAO have their village. I'm not really sure why that is. Kind of crazy to me, but I don't know. I heard there was like a big allegiance in this bracket. So I don't honestly know how this bracket went, but I mean KNQ's obviously took over top spot, and I mean these guys are pretty big also for Region 100. I'm super surprised by HAO is safe right now. And I'm not really sure how the alliances went, so I don't really have much I can say about this bracket here. Okay, so now we're looking at G7. Alright, let's check out G7. I don't. Oh, this is another bracket. I don't really have like a lot of. I didn't watch a lot of these brackets. Like I was super focused on G1 this time, right? Like it was really it was a really big fight. I'm actually these guys are like a small Korean clan, right? Or like really Walish guys. I'm assuming they got pressured by multiple teams if they're kind of sitting on a helipad right now. Alright, well, I don't really have much to say. I mean, you guys can look at who won this. I mean, yeah, they do have some pretty good whales here. I think this is a bracket I maybe talked a bit about, actually being more even. Yeah, I did, actually. I think this is one. Because this looks like a little bit more of a balanced bracket. It just really depends on how allies go here. And it looks like most of the bracket was friendly. It looks like just 97 and... Yeah, okay, so HSU, 97, and KMSZ were all suppressed, and then the rest of the five just were friendly. All right, so we got G8 here. I don't know, cause I know I said in my last video that like TLS said they got betrayed by NTR. I'm not sure how the whole story goes. I'm not trying to like set as like fact the leader here or whatever, or at least I think it was the leader. So I got messaged by these guys, and they were like kind of I guess it wasn't the leader. I don't really know who messaged me, but they were kind of annoyed because they're just like, that wasn't how it went. I mean, if you guys want to say in the comments what actually happened, I would be fine to see that. I don't want to accuse somebody of something. You know what I mean? It looks like this bracket, EXEO. These guys are Smokey. Okay, I love Smokey, man. This dude made my base design. Dude's awesome. I don't know, man. I honestly don't really have a lot to say this bracket review. I mean, you got tits here. Gotta love the name, the dedication. This is the Sparta. I don't know how these agreements work. I honestly feel kind of bad doing this video now because I don't really have a lot of information on these brackets. I seriously was not watching. I was sleep deprived this island. I was going crazy, okay, because we were fighting, and I felt like I was lacking so much sleep because I was trying to fight for the cause. You know what I mean? Sim won this island. It was I did look at this a little bit. It was like pretty friendly. You have PLW here, NWO. It looks like they all came to friendly agreements for the most part. Like this whole island looks like it was kind of peaceful. I mean, DVI just got slaughtered, but that's like the only alliance that kind of got suppressed here, right? Like everybody else kind of looks like they had a good time. Everybody else had a fun time. I mean, Sim, honestly, just they're really active. They got a lot of members here, and I mean, they overall had a lot more might, so they probably had more sway in how the agreements worked, and pretty good group there. All right, we're gonna stop off at G10 because I don't even want to continue talking about stuff I don't know. G10, I think this was more newer whales, right? Like these are from newer regions, and I'm sorry if these are loading really slow. I feel like my internet's really bad right now. But yeah, these guys were from newer regions. I don't remember if I said this bracket was balanced. I mean, you have BTS in there, just sitting on their village here. Poor guys. I mean, they're not even small, but they probably didn't want any heat. It looks like there were like, what, 4 dominant powers here? These guys maybe just kept their village out of graciousness. I don't know. R137. I don't know why alliances actually named their thing after like their region. I don't know if that's because like all the good alliance tags have finally been taken, or if people just want to represent their region, be like, yeah, check out R137. We're blasting these fools, I don't know how that works. I don't know why people do that, because I don't think I'd ever be like R1 or like R4. Alright, but yeah, that's it to the video. I mean, I don't really have a lot to talk about here. I mean, I think this was a good island for me. This was probably my most exciting so far. And I mean, if I've had islands I would consider really good, like SMHS for example. I hate those guys with like a passion. You guys know it. I talk about it in a lot of my freaking review videos. I hate those guys, right? But overall, that was one of my best islands ever because how it played out, and I hope you guys don't mind me just talking. How that played out was insane. I feel like the amount of emotions I went through the island, I was so discouraged. I died fighting for my ally, which is how I like to play, and I felt like I'd done the right thing, and it made me feel just really nice, overall. And I don't know, guys. Overall, that island was insane, and like the fact that we made some insane comebacks because just how everything turned out, how the alliances that we were maybe previously fighting with decided to team up with us. It was a 4v2 at that point. We managed to make a comeback. I had been like totally suppressed. I had even been trading bad the whole island, but I still find it as one of my best islands ever because it was one of the most intense ones for me. I love that island. Like it's honestly hard for me to even say this island is better than that because for some reasons it's like this island was really well played. We made some. I feel like we made really good plays. I feel like the building plans that we made were really good. I feel like all the strategy was insanely nice. And then there's also just, but the thing is, it's like when I look back at that one island, like with SMHS, there's that emotional aspect where I was like, I was putting my all in that, right? Because I was so devoted to making these guys lose, and that just made that island so much better, And I felt so much intensity from that thing. But yeah, you guys tell me some of your favorite experiences island wise and all that, and how your islands were. If you want to drop it in the comments, I do appreciate you guys as always for watching. If you got this far, just thank you. You guys have a good day or night though, and I will see you guys in the next one. And that is it. Peace.